Final thoughts. Would you go to Burning Man?
No.
I would.
I already knew you would.
I know I would.
In a heartbeat.
But here's the thing.
To say you experienced it.
Yes, to say that I experienced it, but also to bear witness to what is actually going on.
And I don't want to.
And
I wouldn't go.
know that I'm a good person. And so I know that I would be there for good reasons.
Yeah.
But I like to care, but I don't know. Your words can't shake my bones. Though I'm stronger than you know. Your fire can't melt my soul. No. Do a little chatting.
Yep.
Piss a few people off. A lot more than a few, probably. Everyone.
We're going to piss a lot of people off. But I think we're going to also make a lot of people happy because we're going to say what they want to say, what they're thinking. We're going to say the quiet part out loud.
If you don't find something to relate to, get out of here.
Get out.
Look right in the eyes. Get out.
I'm just kidding. Bye.
In the shadows, I found my light. In the chaos, I found my fight.
We're excited to announce that we're partnering with GhostBed. Their mattresses are crazy comfortable and super cool, literally, thanks to their patented cooling technology. And they ship right to your door. If you're ready to level up your sleep,
head on over to ghostbed.com/unfiltered for 10% off their already insanely low prices.
Scary low. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered and Unfazed. I'm your host, Tessa.
I'm Heather.
Yeah, your highlighter looks really good.
What?
Your highlighter looks really good.
Does it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You turned and I was like, dang, I should have put on highlighter.
I refreshed it right before, so it's
yeah, no, it looks good. I love a shimmer. I love a glow.
Same.
I love a glow.
I went through a phase where it was like the matte look. Mm-hmm. Everything had to be matte, and I was like, no, it's not a thing anymore. No. I want a little shine. I want a little shimmer. One thing about me, I'm addicted to a sparkle. I'm addicted to a shine. Yeah. A glitter, a shimmer. Yes. When the light hits. Any of that, iridescence. I told you that when I get cremated, I want to be glitter mixed with glitter. Okay, that's fine. Mixed with glitter. I have to sneeze. It's doable. That's doable. Sorry. I'll mix you with glitter. Color preference? Let's do I forget what they call it, where it's multiple colors. Oh, like the iridescence. AB. Oh, okay. It's called AB. I know it's weird, but it's called AB. AB glitter. It's not rainbow, but it's when the light hits it in different ways. Oh, there's an iridescence. Okay. That makes sense. Love that glitter. That makes sense. Yeah, but what are we talking about today? Okay, so we're gonna get into it. Yeah, dive. I know what we're talking into, but I couldn't think of a good transition. We're just gonna go into it. We're gonna talk about Burning Man. Yeah, we're talking about Burning Man, guys. We know it's the talk of the town. Yeah, but we talk a lot about spiritual warfare. Yeah, and there's a lot of things that happened that everyone's like, this is the first year that, there's always chaos. Yeah. It's Burning Man. Yeah. It's, like you said, it's kind of supposed to be artsy fartsy, right. Hippie. Like what it was supposed to be is versus not what it is. Yes. Is and this year was a complete shit show of chaos. Yeah. Destruction. Yeah. Actual chaos. So we're going to touch on the guy's name of founders. So anyways, where do you want to start at? Do you want me to say a little bit of the history that I know, or? Yeah. Okay, perf. So how did Burning Man get started? In case you guys are wondering, in case you guys even know what Burning Man is, it is for lack of a better word, I'm going to call it festival. And it's weird because they don't want to call it that. Yeah, because they do not want it to be known as a festival. They do not want it to be known. Exactly what it is. But that's kind of what it is. So it basically started originally in 1986 with these two guys, Larry Harvey and Jerry James. I forget their names, so that's why I have it written down. Well, I don't. Yes, I do. Anyways, I'm no, I cheated, but it's right there. That's fine. I see it. And so basically they were it was this group of people that originated from these. You know how people do art, political art
movements and like, you know, the people that will like, you know, stand outside buildings and like throw paint on themselves, like stuff like that, right? So it was like a group of people, and I'm pretty sure that Jerry James was the one that was like in charge of that one, like that group of people. Like he was like their, for lack of a better word, cult leader.
Right.
And then him and Larry Harvey got together, got the idea, and then it turned into like we're going to burn this statue in like, you know, release like our whatever, like we don't want to, like we're just going to come together, we're going to include each other, like this is like a statement art, like it's and they originally started doing it on a beach, right? Well, it didn't start having like any type of like really movement in it until 88. And in 88, they had gone from maybe like 15 or 20 people on the beach to like 200 people on the beach. And then everybody was like, hey, you can't burn this giant statue, because the statue had also gone from an 8-foot statue to a 20-foot statue. And now it's like massive. Right. And now it's like, hey, we can't have you burning this on the beach, but they still wanted to burn it. So they found the middle of the desert where they are now.
And, you know, some may say that's sacrificial also. Just
Correct. And
some may say.
Some definitely may say that.
Right.
But yeah, so then basically they like go out into the middle of the, you know, desert or whatever. Like for some reason they chose a lake bed. Don't know why, but they chose that area. And basically the first couple years was just like crazy. Like I'm talking, there's like nobody out in the desert, so they don't have any like rules or anything they have to follow. They're like
a free for all,
just driving at top speeds, like doing crazy shit in the desert. And it wasn't until I believe 1996, I might be wrong on that date, but someone got killed, like 3 people got killed because they got hit with cars.
Right.
And so that's when they started having like, oh, well, okay, well, if you have your cars, you have to have lights on, you know, and they started making the rules. And then it was around 2004 that they solidified the, they don't like to call them rules at all. That's one of the funniest parts. They're like, there are no rules, but we have 10 principles.
I know. I read about
that.
Right.
And honestly, rules, principles, guidelines, whatever you want to call it, like this is what concerns
me, is that they're very focused on verbiage and word magic,
like very culty,
okay, you can't call them rules because why?
Because they're like guidelines. You should just follow them. Okay, so here's the 10. Radical inclusion, which okay, cool,
great. I saw
that. Gifting, great. Hold on, decommodification, which means like basically like no money, like the you have to like only barter trade, everything like that. Okay, so number 4 is radical self-reliance. Number 5 is radical self-expression.
Okay. Notice how they use radical a lot.
Yeah. Number 6 is communal effort. Number 7 is civic responsibility. Number 8 is leave no trace. Number 9 is participation. And number 10 is immediacy, which just means like to be present in the moment, to like, okay, so basically what I take from these, like,
I rebuke all of these.
Well, I don't rebuke all of them. I think a lot of them are really great, like things.
I think that the motive I rebuke, because I think it's not that it's the guidelines or principles or rules. I think that there's an ulterior motive to this, but we have difference in opinions on that.
Right.
I think this is demonic. I think that this is cult.
I don't think it
originated to be demonic.
I think it's become demonic.
Yes.
But I do think this is very culty. So like this is very pagan-y. This is pagan, and pagan is not demonic. That is something different. That just means that like they believe that God is within nature. And they don't worship demons. They just believe that God is within nature. And so that's the one
Which, again, some might say anything that goes against what Christians believe is the enemy.
Right.
And demonic.
I mean, not everything that's not Christian is demonic.
The belief is, though, that it is, because that means that you haven't given your life to Jesus. So there's two sides. Mm-hmm. There's not a middle.
Right.
I'm not saying that's correct. I'm saying there's two sides. There's either you are or you aren't.
Yeah.
In that view.
Yeah. Which is like kind of a radical view.
It's radical.
Yeah. I think mostly like, I don't think that just because you don't believe in God that you're demonic.
Right.
Right.
But some Christians might say,
and that's
that you're with the enemy unknowingly. You're not necessarily a bad person, or you're not necessarily like, but in a Christian's eyes, you're going to hell. There's no in between. You either give your life to Jesus or you don't.
Right.
And I'm not talking Old Testament, even New Testaments like that.
Yeah.
And so you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
but it's not demonic. Like these people aren't demonic. Like making that the main principle of it is so like damaging to Christian people as well as other people. So it's just one of those things where it's like, no, it's not demonic to be away from God. You're just away from God.
Right. Like, and anybody could come to God.
Right.
But some would say there's outside sources that are influencing that, which is where people become, where they say it's demonic. Not that person's like demon possessed or anything.
Right.
But that's what's pulling them away.
Okay. Yeah. I
is
can,
that
I
the
can
demons
kinda,
out in the world and people, not people, well, they're in human form, that are trying to pull people away from God.
Right.
They don't know that that's happening.
Right.
So it's not ill intentions on their part is what I'm saying. So, but on the, like, people may say, no, that's still demonic because you're allowing those outside sources that you don't even know are happening.
Right.
Pull you away from it.
I see where you're coming from.
Saying?
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. But then like that brings into question, like you have to think about like, okay, what about these tribes in the middle of nowhere that like have, that don't know how to read, that don't know how to think, like they have their own experience with God.
Right.
That like they have no idea even like what
the Bible is,
what demonic means or like anything like that. And so they don't read the Bible, but they know God. So like, I think it's just like, like if
and that's
you're
a good
away
point.
from God,
like are those people, but what they know of God and if they've given their heart and life to him, whether it's what we understand, it's what they understand, that's still, if everyone was created in God's image, those tribes are created in God's image. Everybody is. Right. So it's like, I get what you're saying.
Right.
And that's where people start to question things and people get confused and people go, wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
How is that possible? How does that make sense? How is that fair? I get it. I question like I said, I questioned a whole verse I read about circumcision. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, I definitely think
like that. I had to research it and understand it. And I understood it later when it said, I know this is like off on a tangent, but at first, the first scripture I read said, you must circumcise to show faith to God. Like you have to physically mutilate to show faith. And I was like, wait, okay.
But that's something's Old Testament, right?
Well,
was it?
It's in New Testament too, but it talks about that it changed. Yeah. Because then later I kept reading because I was like, something's not sitting right with me, and I'm you know, you're not allowed to not have things sit right with you, but you are because you have free will.
Well, yeah.
So I was
you're
like,
absolutely allowed to have things not sit right with you.
Hold on.
It says in the Bible for you to question.
Right, and I had to do that and research, and then later it says, but if you circumcise and live not a righteous life, you don't just get a free pass to heaven. But if you don't circumcise and you live a righteous life, it's the same thing as circumcising. Right. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, no, what?
Yeah.
I have to literally mutilate, which again, that's a whole nother topic because some believe it is, some believe it's religious, some believe it's sanitary.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jewish people believe that you have to be circumcised.
Yes. Like, so there's still people that believe you do, and they do it later. Like it's not as a baby or right when they're born.
Yeah.
But, so that's like, again, a whole nother topic, but there are things that I'm like, you have to, like, I was like, hold on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That does not sit right with me. You're saying that this has to be done to prove something.
Right. And it doesn't. Like, that's the thing, though. I think a lot of people get so, like, bent up, out of shape about the Old Testament.
And the Old Testament is, even at church when I was on Sunday, he was like, the Old Testament's he's like, it's literally like, you break a rule, you die.
Yeah.
It's not even like you go to hell. It's like you are death.
Yeah.
Death.
Pretty much.
You must die.
Yeah. And that's why
they were like, no, that's not.
Like, it's all null and void.
Yeah.
None of it matters. Like, this is the part. Like, the whole point of, like, Jesus dying was so that we're allowed to wear mixed fabrics.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like,
and that's exactly what they talked about in church. They're like, that's the whole point behind this is he died for you, not you die for him.
Right. You don't have to make those sacrifices anymore.
Right.
Because, you know.
But so, I mean, that's why I think people say Burning Man's demonic is because it feels.
No, I definitely think Burning Man has become demonic.
Yeah, I don't think that was the intention unless it, again, then people go deep unless the enemy was like, I'm going to use this as a gateway to turn it into this eventually, because people will start following and I'll get more followers and people will start joining and things will get more chaotic and things won't be like, I mean, we could even look at Woodstock, right? It used to be a hippie fest. Everybody just peace and love. And then it turned, I think it was the year, of course, it's like music I loved. It was like more, you know, I think Korn was there and it turned so violent that they were like, we can't even do this anymore. This is like pure chaos, fires, people dying, people getting hurt, people like, it was like raping and pillaging and like, okay, don't quote me on that, but it was pure chaos. They said it was so chaotic that they were like, this is like a liability at this point.
I mean, it absolutely
is. So it turned into something that was not meant.
Right.
So I think it's the same thing with that. I don't think the people knowingly were like, this is our intention. I think it was like an artistic expression and it turned because of people, not because of the intentions. I think because of other people, it turned. And this year specifically was like chaos.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And this year the attendance dropped 20,000 from what it was last year.
It went down.
Yeah.
And there was more chaos.
Yeah. Well, because people, like, crazy things happened last year. So
yeah, they did. I think there was a death in 2024.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2024 is when the guy died inside the man, right? I might be wrong about that. Yeah.
There was one I saw, there was a death, but it wasn't foul play, where this one they are considering it right now and investigating it as a homicide.
Right.
So, you know, unfortunately a life was lost this year. And
you know,
that man, you said he was like found in a pool of blood.
I don't know. I don't know what happened with him.
Basically, let me look for it.
No, you're so good. While you're looking,
you could keep talking about what you were talking about.
Absolutely. So, while you're looking for that, like, just some of the things on here that I think are like what would draw me into a cult. I am a person that would accidentally join, like, not like out of curiosity, like, not like I believe in what you're saying, but I just want to see, like, how are you getting people to believe this? Like, what are you saying to them?
Right.
So the things that in my, like, little hippie heart are like radical inclusion, obviously, but that is not from being a hippie. That is from God. Like, I want everyone to inherit the kingdom of God. Like, I don't think that there is any person that isn't worthy of being saved and turned to Christ. So radical inclusion, I'm like, heck yeah. Gifting, love. I hate capitalism.
Yeah.
I hate capitalism. Yeah. So that and the decommodification, like that, all, like, those three for me, I'm like, perfect. I love camping. I love being outdoors. I love doing all this stuff. It's just when you get down and, like, radical self-reliance, obviously, if you're going into a freaking desert, like, you need to make sure that you're going to bring things to survive. Like, yeah.
I just don't like that it says radical. It's like,
that part.
Yeah.
And then where it starts to lose me is radical self-expression, because that's subject to interpretation.
What does that mean?
Anything. Yeah. Like,
it's like the freedom of speech thing.
It's literally, I mean, quite literally anything, like, and people, people bring children to this.
Yeah.
Like, which is insane anyways. But, like, a lot of that turns into, people on drugs dancing naked.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is. Like that is what they're saying. Like it's people on drugs dancing naked.
Calling it self-expression.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like radical self-expression. Like I understand like how it started.
Right.
Like I understand why they were like, okay, like I want to do this. Like I get that. Like, but I don't like that I don't like the idea of radical self-expression. Like, because why does it have to be radical?
Right.
Why does it have to be the most extreme version? Why can't it just be
self-expression?
Yeah. And you can lose yourself without doing something insane like that.
Right.
Anyways. But I love communal effort. I think that's great. Like, and so it's easy to understand how somebody could be like drawn into this, because also civic responsibility, take responsibility for your action. I love that. I think that's great. I think people should do that. Like participation, that's a weird one to put in there for me.
Yeah, participation in what? Right. And why are you being forced to participate?
Well,
isn't being there participation?
To participate, but they encourage participation and immediacy. So this is the thing.
But that takes away freedom of expression.
What?
Now you're feeling obligated to participate.
No, not like in that way. And that's what I'm saying. Like the way that they're explaining this to people, it's not like that. It's not like, oh, well, you have to participate. It's like, no, we would love for you to participate. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah, but like, in societal guidelines, when you're going to something that has principles and 10 rules, sorry, they don't call them rules, 10 principles lined out, right. You're automatically... Now, when something's supposed to be super inclusive and freedom of expression, you're automatically going to feel as a human an obligation to be like, well, I don't want to be the only one that's not following these principles,
right?
Because it says follow them, or they're encouraged to be followed. It's the same thing with COVID. People encouraged and highly recommended masks. They use that verbiage a lot, and people were like, well, I'm not going to be the one to not do it. I mean, people eventually did.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's putting a pressure that is the whole opposite point of inclusion. And so even if you want to sit in a corner, you should be included, but you're going to automatically feel, by stating that in there, you're going to automatically feel a pressure to participate in whatever it may be.
Right.
Whether that's what their intention is.
If you're going to that at all, that like you've already read this, you already know. Like,
so I agree. You're signing up for it, but
pressure. I think it's just. But what I do think adds added pressure is the next one, immediacy, because the whole thing, it's like they're like, we want you to participate, but right this second, and if you don't do it right this second, you're not going to have this opportunity again.
Yeah,
like that's the part.
But that's what I'm saying. When you look at it all as a whole, even the inclusion thing, the radical inclusion, I think that what was meant to be a positive thing is like, that means inclusion of everything. So that could mean some fetish that might be not the best thing in the world.
Right.
That's part of that, not just inclusion of all walks, colors, races, sexualities. Like, I think that's what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But I think that it turns into, well, cool, I like kids. So it's radical inclusion. I'm included. I'm seen. I'm heard. I'm felt. I don't think that that's the intention.
Right.
But when they start adding in radical this and radical that and extremist this, then those people that feel that way are like, I'm finally have somewhere to go. Not all those people.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're like all bad people.
Right.
I think even some people are just like, cool, I want to be like part of something.
Right.
And I think that's where they try to like do this word verbiage. Like, I'm going to say radical inclusion, and that means everything imaginable.
But I'm going to say this. I do think that radical inclusion is everything. And I know that God would include all of those people as well.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like, yes, everything. Like, if you don't like what this person is doing, that doesn't matter. That's still like God's person. That's still God's child.
Yeah.
So like that part of it, like I like the radical self-reliance, the radical self-expression. That's crazy. Radical inclusion. I'm like, no, I like that one. Like, but that's the thing about it. It's because I can justify this one. But like I said, I don't like this one. And that's where people start to like, well,
that's where the waters get muddled.
Exactly.
Muddy waters, because that's like, but it's inclusion of everything. So
everything. Yeah. So that's
we have to agree to disagree on that, because I feel like it's giving people a safe space, which I think people deserve, but not everybody deserves a safe space to express themselves. Like I said, pedophiles that are like, that's inclusive. These MAP people, like they're going to feel like, well, this is radical inclusion. Everyone's welcome, which you can't really say people aren't welcome somewhere, but you also don't have to say it.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome anywhere. Like no one's like not allowed to be somewhere. I mean, they could feel not welcome, but they're not saying you're not welcome.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, there was Christians there that were saving people. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the whole thing is just completely.
No, it's not. And that's why it's so culty, is because we can have like this part of it. Yeah. Like it's like, well, what about that? Well, what about,
there's endless possibilities.
Exactly. And so that's like the cultiest part about it. It's because it's like, these are the principles. And while some of them, I do these things. Like, I love to do this. I love to barter. And I'm very inclusive of like a lot, obviously not pedophiles.
No, but that was just an example of like, I know, that's that like, can't be left out.
But that's there. Inclusion. Like a couple years ago, a dad got arrested for parading around his naked 12-year-old son. Like this is
because
like
that's radical
horrible
inclusion,
things
radical self-expression, radical, like that's all I'm saying is like they have to push it to a limit, to make it a statement or whatever they're trying to do. And while I think at some point the intention was not that, I think that, like you said, it turned into that, which is where we come into the spiritual warfare, is that things have to be so extreme now, where there's an orgy tent. And it's like, does that have to be there? Like, people can't just have a good time, like you said, dance, listen to music, express themselves. Now we have to include an actual place for. So one of the people that was there said that the reason they think that the orgy tent is good, they said, when I first came to the burn, as they called it, in 2000, if you wanted to hook up on the playa, meet somebody, play with them, you didn't have a monitored safe place to go. You went back to their tent with some random threesome and you crossed your fingers and hoped for the best. So they're grateful that they were given a safe space to do this. It's like, or I mean, don't, like, that's not necessary. You don't have to go do that, but if that's what this is, like, that's what I'm saying, that this is, I thought that's not what this was about. But he said in Saturday's dust storm,
sex is self-expression.
Yeah.
So
in Saturday's dust storm, a number of the metal poles compromising the dome were bent, eliminating the possibility of rebuilding the original structure, which again, some people say God was like, no,
like maybe
this is crazy. But you know, that's neither here nor there. When the storm hit, the camp's volunteers were inside the dome working. They held the structure down for as long as they could before evacuating. And then it says Grindr, another one of the dome's organizers. So Grindr was one of the organizers of the, so
that makes sense.
I believe any dating site, not judging anybody that uses them. Everybody has at some point in their life. That is not a judge. I know people that are married with kids because of a dating site. So it's not a judgment, but dating sites, as most people know, are sexually based. I mean, that's just, nobody denies that. That the people call them hookup sites. You're going off looks solely at first. Like, it is what it is. Again, not saying that I did that, but I'm not judging people that do. They said they spelled with an E, he emphasized. I'm not sure what that means. Estimates that the camp sustained between $20,000 and $30,000 worth of damage. He said, we were 2 hours from being done when the storm hit on Saturday, he was told. And all that we were doing was decorating. So the original idea of it was to have a safe place for consensual sex. It says its organizers say it was to encourage visitors to practice safe consensual sex, which then scares me because they made a very big emphasis on consensual because, you know, again, that was a concern.
No, because people get raped there.
And it says the dome is the project of Consensually Incorporated, nonprofit. So, you know, again, intentions are good, I guess you could say, like, well, we want, if there's going to be rapes, let's at least try to prevent those. Again, it doesn't mean I agree with it, but the intentions were that.
Like, just by giving people a place to have safe,
if they're going to be doing it anyways.
Sex. Like if you're going to be doing it anyway, I would rather you be safe about it.
Right. And it says, before entering, participants receive a talk on consent from a greeter. Because, nowadays people have to be explained about consent and not to rape one another.
Right.
Who also checks their IDs.
I mean, rape is not new.
Right. But it's like
not more than it has ever been before.
Right.
It's just we have social media now.
Yes. Yeah. It says who checks their IDs and turns away intoxicated visitors. So obviously if you're completely unhinged, they're going to turn you away. And that's them. This is the organizer saying that, whether that's what would have really happened. And they're like, So that's also subject to interpretation. They're like, yeah, you're intoxicated enough, but you're too much. Like that's their decision to make. Right. Which fine. Monitors check in on visitors' safety and watch for non-consensual behavior. So you're being filmed. There's monitors in there.
No. Monitors like
people. So they're calling so there's people coming in and checking.
Filmed.
Okay. Yeah. I was like,
Jesus. No, because that's unconsensual.
Correct.
Filming is unconsensual. So
you're not allowed to bring cell phones in. Yeah. So they did make that clear. But are they patting down people? Are they searching people? Do you have to walk in naked? Like they're leaving some things out. Because some people were saying that, like, what if somebody snuck a cell phone in and just films this whole thing and it goes on the internet?
If they saw them filming it, then they would take it from them.
Right. But they can't take your phone. Legally, you cannot ever touch.
You're in the middle of the desert.
You're in the middle of the desert. Right.
Who's
So
going to back you up? Like that's the thing. Like
legally, who's going to back you up in any of this?
The laws don't exist the same way there.
Right.
And that's why it's so appealing to people.
Right.
Is because the laws don't work the same way. It's like the same as like on an Indian reservation. Like a regular police officer can't just go and like do something. Right. Yeah.
So they said people were encouraged. One person who experienced the infamous orgy dome went into detail about their time in the tent and said, "You're welcome to wash up at your camp before venturing over. You're welcome to bring your own wet wipes. And you're allowed to bring like a day pack. You don't need a camp to provide these things to you. Radical self-reliance." So they mentioned that the radical self-reliance is you have to do that. The camp doesn't provide anything like that for you. So if you want to clean up, they were saying the dust storm was so bad, people literally had dirt in their teeth, their genitals, their eyes. Yeah, that's crazy. So like they literally had to like wipe themselves, like even in the dome, like the dust storm was so bad, it was like in people's RVs, like you couldn't get away from it.
No, there's this one girl that I follow on TikTok. She's like maybe in her like 50s or something like that, and she went and she was just very informed. Like she just like gave a lot of really good information, and I was like, okay, cool. She was like just your typical old little hippie chick, but no, personally, I would not be participating in an orgy dome.
Right.
Like
they talked about STDs and they were like, it's a risk you're taking with self-expression and radical this and radical that.
That's the thing.
And you're taking that risk anyway, anytime you have sex with somebody you don't know or new.
Right. Exactly.
Unless you both walk into a clinic, get tested, wait for the results, and then go, we're going to still wait 3 more months because things can show up later. I get that. Yeah. But your chances of having orgies in a dome full of strangers that are also wanting to participate in this behavior is higher.
Right.
Just
and
statistically.
Plus, like, it's just that so many people are on drugs at this thing.
Right. Statistically.
Like, it's just way more likely. It's the same, like it's just one of those things where, like, if that's where you're at, that you're gonna go get, dusty pussy in a orgy dome,
dusty balls in
an orgy dome, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
If that's what you want to do, I want to know why. I want to know why that's interesting. Like I genuinely, I don't understand it. I'm like, I truly don't get it. Like, I just want to know why. Here's the thing. I'm trying to think.
Orgies can be considered. What have I been saying? Again, it's
demonic,
not saying,
but
it can be considered demonic. And again, I know there was orgies.
Yeah.
In the Bible, there was multiple, but ultimately the devil loves orgies. Loves them. Yeah.
I mean, the devil loves anything that's gonna bring
sexual
like sexual immorality.
Yeah. Yeah. So some may say.
Yeah. It's like, but the thing is, like, the Bible, like, doesn't say like you can't have sex with multiple people. It just says like, hey, like maybe don't like hurt and people like you.
Well, outside of marriage, there's a little.
I mean, does it say that?
I thought it did.
Have you just heard that it says that?
I thought it did.
Right. I don't actually know if it says it either, but I've heard.
I thought it was inside. I thought it was fornicating if it's outside the covenant of marriage.
Over a century ago in 1910, the Flexner Report, funded by John D. Rockefeller and the Carnegie Foundation, re-engineered medical education from a holistic, whole-body approach, which appropriately treated the body as an interconnected system, to a compartmentalized approach under the guise of specialized medicine. They shut down or consolidated medical schools, marginalized naturopathic, homeopathic, and chiropractic medicine, replacing them with symptom management and synthetic drugs. Allopathy is a marketing strategy rooted in fear and manipulated science. This philosophy carried into veterinary medicine, resulting in over-vaccination, unnecessary surgeries, and manufactured food, just like they did for people. They call it care, but it's predatory and based in profitability. The truth? Toxicity, compromised immunity, and chronic inflammation. They're not fate. They're engineered. And so is your power to undo them. We built 3 targeted formulas to return the body to homeostasis, for pets and people. To detox, defend, and restore. We are the correction to decades of corruption. We are vengeance.
Hey guys, we're excited to announce that we're partnering up with Tasty Gains. They have pre-workout and creatine gummies, which makes it super convenient to get it in a tasty, easy dose. So they are going to be coming out with a woman's line. So stay tuned for that and check them out at tastygains.com. Are you ChatGPTing this?
Of course I am.
Demonic.
Well, what if it gives me the right answer? Okay, this is exactly what I thought actually. Okay. Because purity culture is so pushed.
Okay.
Like I thought that I was right about this one, but okay. It does not say that sex before marriage is a sin. It's not.
Okay.
Because it's not. It says that you should avoid sexual immorality.
Okay.
Hold on. It says don't cheat. It says it just says to avoid sexual immorality, and sexual immorality could be defined like, I mean, as long as you're giving consent, it's not immoral.
Okay.
So it doesn't actually say anything about that, but it does say no, it just says don't cheat. Like,
but cheating is specifically to
marriage.
Yeah,
marriage. Yeah. So it says marriage should be honored by all and the marriage bed kept pure.
But then it's not pure if you have sex before marriage.
That's
what
true.
That's what they consider.
No. That's
what makes it pure? Just not cheating?
Not cheating. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like so many people have like,
what does
misconstrued
purity
LOL, somebody's peeing really loud.
mean in the Bible? Purity means being morally clean, free from sin, and dedicated to God's standards, encompassing both intense internal heart, integrity, and outward actions, wholeness, single-mindedness, life free from interest, impure thoughts. Purity was Old Testament. Let's not go there.
Right. It's just that Christian tradition generally taught that sex before marriage falls under sexual immorality.
Here's sexuality. While chastity is important, purity is much broader concept than only sexual purity, but it is included. Honoring God, pursuing purity is a way to glorify God and his standards. Hold on, I need to know what that means. I mean, because there's chastity is mentioned. That's why people, I mean, chastity belts, like, yeah, lock it up till you're married.
Chastity is not mentioned like as a verse where, right? I don't think it, like, this is what I'm saying.
Okay,
you know how I think that in 1942 King James altered the Bible and made specific verses to fit his own agenda. Like, that's
it says,
what I think.
Instead of thinking about sexual purity, you think about moral purity, that when the Bible speaks about purity, what it's really speaking about is keeping ourselves from sin. So being pure means without sin. This is often the case in the Bible. In fact, there are many instances in which the New Testament points to the purity as an issue of being free from sin. However, thinking of it solely in these ways misses the Bible's underlying teaching about purity. As we look at how purity is described, we see that it's speaking something far deeper and more universal. It's not merely an issue of only lust that struggling men and women need to be concerned about. It's an issue about the way of the heart in the Christian life. So it says Jesus is not pointing to a sexual purity or even moral purity. Instead, he is pointing out to a spiritual purity or purity of the heart. Once you start looking at this, you'll see it all over the pages. So they're kind of going back and forth like, it is, but it isn't. It means as a whole.
Right.
So that's included.
I personally do not
Again,
believe
I think the entire Bible is subject to interpretation.
Yeah.
Really, it really is.
Yeah. Well, and I also think
there's
that
biblical scholars that study it.
So many different versions of the Bible that leave out this verse, leave out that verse, add this verse, do this, do that. And I'm like, okay, big picture is here. Honestly, these men want to control women. And so they're going to do every single thing they can to do that. In the Bible, it does not say that sex before marriage is a sin. However, do you see how you and I both believed that that was a thing?
Yeah.
Because we've been told that our entire life. So that's what I'm saying. So I recently
I'm going to literally put
have been, right? It's crazy.
Because I want to see what comes up. Before. Like, I want to see what AI says. I'm just curious. I'm not putting the Bible. Okay. So yes. According to the teachings of Christianity and Islam, sex before marriage is considered a sin or a morally wrong act. This is because these faiths generally reserve sexual intimacy for the covenant of marriage. While the specific teachings on premarital sex may vary, the general consensus across these traditions is that such activity falls outside of acceptable sexual conduct. Many Christian denominations interpret biblical passages such as those using the word fornication, referring to sex outside of marriage, as condemning premarital sex. So fornication may be also, it's not called adultery, it's called sex outside of marriage. So they're considering that premarital, like you're not married.
Yeah.
So that's how they're interpreting it.
Adultery is not sex outside of marriage.
No,
that's not what adultery means.
Well,
adultery means it's cheating.
Infidelity. No, but I'm saying they could be, that interpretation could have been sex outside of marriage means cheating.
Yeah.
Where they're taking it as sex outside of marriage means you're not married, you don't have sex.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm just saying the Bible does not say that it's a sin.
It says sex is seen as a covenant forming activity and is meant to be fulfilled with the confines of marriage. The Bible lists sexual immorality as work of the flesh, with the exception that people abstain from it. So it says the purpose of sex is to strengthen marital bonds, and this is sacred act not permitted before the formal marriage ceremony. So I'm curious. Old Testament? Hold on.
Yeah.
This is very interesting to me.
I think it's interesting too, and I think that there's
just says, what does the Bible say? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
It says, for this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality. Immortality is a little different.
Nah, that's what I was like.
That each one of you know how to control his or her own body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust, that the Gentiles who do not know God put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, covenantness. Oh my gosh, I just came up with an ad. Which is idolatry. On account of these, the wrath of God is coming. It says God tells us to flee from sexual sin, to abstain from sex. Sexual immorality comes from the Greek word.
Wait, but where does it say
porneia?
Well,
interesting.
Okay.
Is that where porn came from?
Probably. I don't know.
Greek word.
Are you reading from the Bible or are you reading?
Yeah, that was scripture. And then it says,
what is it?
It's Thessalonians 3 through 5. Okay. 1 Thessalonians 4, 3 through 5. And then Colossians, is that how you say it?
I usually say Colossians.
Colossians 3, 5 through 6. It says sexual immorality comes from the Greek word porneia, which means any sexual activity outside of marriage, illicit sexual activity, or fornication. So while God does not explicitly say we are to refrain from sex outside of marriage, he makes it very clear in the Bible that we are to abstain from sexual immorality, which includes sex before marriage. They say that the Bible does say that that's what sexual immorality means, as well as other sexual activity that would be considered sexual sin.
I just don't know where the Bible actually says that.
Well, they say it doesn't.
Right.
It says sexual immorality, but it does say that in the Bible, it describes sexual immorality.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where it says that. Like,
sexual activity out of marriage, illicit sexual activity, or fornication.
Where in the Bible?
It says the body, however, is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. That's 1 Corinthians. The body, however, is not meant for sexual immorality, but don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. God bought you with the high price. So you must honor God with your body. Interesting.
I'm seeing sexual immorality defined as incest, adultery, homosexuality, and bestiality.
That's Lord have mercy.
Old Testament. I'm seeing it originally meant prostitution, but then was broadened to include all sexual activity outside of marriage. That you can't just broaden something because you want to.
It says this implies that sex was not created to be enjoyed outside of marriage. And then it says, in the above verses, God makes it clear that the designed and created sex to be enjoyed between husband and wife in marriage. And like the Bible talks about in 1 Corinthians 6, we are not to have sex with someone or attach ourselves to someone that we aren't married to. Having sex outside of marriage would not be honoring God's design for sex and would be considered a sin. A lot of people try to argue that since the Bible doesn't explicitly talk about sex before marriage, then it's not a sin or not a big deal. But this is not the right way to think whether sex before marriage is a sin. If you are still not convinced that sex before marriage is a sin, ask yourself these questions. Is sex before marriage pleasing God? Based on what you know about sex in the Bible, do you think God would support you having premarital sex? The Bible also tells us that we have any doubts about whether it's a sin to do something, then we are sinning if we aren't following our convictions. But if you have doubts about whether or not you should eat something, you are sinning if you go ahead and do it, for you are not following your convictions. If you do anything you believe is not right, you are sinning. Romans 14:23. So if there's any doubt in your mind, then you shouldn't do it. And so
what are you reading from?
Fun. It's like a website, Fun and Holy.
Oh, okay.
So they're giving you verses, but it's
but the verses
subject to interpretation.
That's what I'm saying.
It's subject to interpretation,
right?
So,
and so
they don't. It does say. It does not explicitly say.
Yeah, but everything else it explicitly says.
Right.
So to take this
but
one,
they're saying that it explicitly says,
but it doesn't.
Immorality. But they're saying immorality means
the Bible defines immorality.
Right.
So a person deciding to broaden something later, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you can't.
Like immorality
if
just
you
means,
feel that,
yeah, if
then you are convicted to feel that,
then you feel that way. Yeah,
right.
But
some people might feel that,
yeah.
like you even said, my body is the only thing I own.
Yeah.
I don't want to spread it around everywhere,
right,
and I don't want to absorb other people's energy and everybody else they've slept with.
But if I met a person and I connected with them, and I didn't act out
but
of lust,
you felt
and
like you were convicted to not do exactly,
and I didn't,
that's what it's
saying. I didn't act out of lust, and I didn't, go forward and be crazy and just sleep with whoever, but I met a person, we connected. I'm like, you know what? I think I want to have sex with you. You want to have sex with me? Let's talk about it. Let's see how we feel about it. And if yes is the answer, then let's do it.
Right.
But like I said, there's just this I hate how the modern man has taken the Bible.
I don't even think it's modern. I think it's been years.
Modern is like the last 100 years.
Right. Okay.
The modern man has taken the Bible and used it as a tool to control women instead of just living up to
period.
And instead of just living up, but more so women than anything else, because men are stronger than us, so they can beat us up if we don't listen, and that's what they did for a long time. If women didn't listen, they just beat them up until we became
if you really
subservient.
interpret and read, it says not to hurt your wife.
Right.
Not to,
like you shouldn't be doing that. Like, and so
in fact, it's one of the more severe sins.
Right. Like
than
that's
anything.
God literally says, if you're not right with your wife, I'm not listening to your prayers.
Oh, he says, I'll silence all prayers.
Yeah.
And I will silence them until I feel
right.
that you have repented enough and have changed your ways and given enough of yourself to me.
Right.
Then I will reevaluate and I will hear your prayers. But until then, if you're
right
not doing right by your wife, I don't hear them.
Right.
Which is
exactly. And that's the part. Like, I just think that that's so,
I think the men that are right with God know that.
Yeah.
And
100%. Like, and there are some, but unfortunately, in our capitalistic society, churches are 501c3 nonprofit organizations, and they do not have to pay taxes. So we have so many evil people that have now taken pulpit
100%.
and have now like misconstrued actually what the Bible says. And that's why I'm glad we like got into it like this, because most people don't even look. They just hear something and they just believe it.
And that's why I think that it's so important that people are like what we do.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Right.
Oh, nope.
No, this is
I will look into, like I said, when that one part, I was like,
no, that's weird. Like I need to look into this.
Look into this. And I need to examine it and I need to investigate, because there pretty much is scripture for everything.
Yeah.
But you have to find it and you have to understand what it's saying.
Right.
And if you have to look through other scripture to say, okay, this is what this means, then do that. Don't just interpret it how you want to benefit you.
100%.
Because I think men and women do that. Women go,
well,
men need to leave. The Bible said men need to lead, not lead.
Yeah.
But that is also subject to interpretation. Like what he's saying is spiritually lead.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that the man leads and you just sit there and do whatever he says. That's not what it's saying.
No, it literally defines all of that.
Yeah.
Like it says exactly what a husband should look like and exactly what a wife should look like.
Yeah. And in fact, the wife was not meant to be as submissive as I think people believe.
No, helper. Okay, so the word helper is what people associate, and that's the Hebrew word that was what was associated,
and it was supposed to be a very positive thing.
No, it's not even helper like positive. No, it's helper like partner.
Yes,
not helper like assistant.
Right,
like helper like
no. And what I mean by positive is that like it's supposed to be a partner. Like
right.
It was supposed to be, you need this.
Right,
you both need this.
Right,
and so I agree. I think that there's interpretations that, like I said, submissive. There's men that will use that and women that will use that to their advantage. And it's like, that's not what it didn't mean submit like you're a dom sub, like you sit there in a leash and get beaten daily.
Right. No, literally.
That's not what that meant.
No.
That meant if your husband's leading properly spiritually and leading his family properly, your submission is not do what I say and shut your mouth.
No, and it's not even a submission to your husband. You're submitting only to God through your husband.
Right.
Like that's what you're doing.
Yes.
It's not.
It turned into like, some weird,
because
like,
your husband. Okay, sorry, your husband is
not
the end all be
your
all.
Husband.
Like it's not. If your husband is wrong, it is your responsibility to not believe him.
Yes.
Like if your husband is doing something that you know is misaligned,
and it does say that you do not have to subject yourself to abuse.
You shouldn't.
And ill behavior and.
Jesus literally says, leave that man.
Yes. And you know what's crazy is the whole submissive thing, because that's like a big one where I think people take that and run either in a negative way or positive way, what they think is positive. Or people say, see, Christians just say your wife must submit, and that's not what it's saying. But if you like, submitting doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, do what I say, when I say it, how I say it. That's not at all what that means. But honoring and respecting your husband, it also says that he must honor and respect you. There's no part where it's like you must honor and respect your husband and he can literally do what he wants and treat you like crap.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be like that at all.
And I think that some men, like you said, go, well, it says, you
need to submit to me.
You need to submit. You need to honor me. You need to respect me. You need to stand by me no matter what, which does not say that.
But you can't have submission without trust.
And without leading properly.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah.
If you feel
you can't have trust without any of those things.
Yeah. So it all starts with trust, safety, security. Like there's lots of things that go into this.
That allow me to be able to submit
to you.
Yeah.
And again, submit, people are going to be like, oh my God. That's not what we're saying. They hate that word.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, and I understand, but that's the thing is like, you know how like words mean different things now than they used to?
100%.
Like that's like a big thing. And that's like the whole thing. Like Like the other thing that I have like a problem with in the Bible is that like the Bible did not mention the word homosexuality until 1946.
Right.
Okay. And so that always like gets me a little bit because I'm like, and this is like a silly, if I were God and I'm not, and I had a planet and I knew that that planet couldn't get bigger.
Right.
And I was like, dang, I created sex and it feels awesome, right? So these people are gonna want to have sex, okay? What can I do to make sure they don't overpopulate the earth?
Right.
Some of them are gay. Easy. You can't have a baby in the butt. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
allegedly nowadays you can do anything. But
I'm saying, like, so like, and like that's the only part of like that I've ever like really like. I just don't get why people hate gay people. Like why there's this whole agenda of like turn away from your and like, yes, again, I understand
they interpreted
right
Adam and Eve and him saying between man and woman,
right,
which actually in a description in the Bible, but what they meant by man or like mankind or like is everyone, but that's where they took that and ran with it.
Right.
So again, it didn't say
well, the Bible does say not to lay with a man as you lay with woman.
Right.
However, context is key. At the time that the verse was talking about, it was a time that they were at war. They were
and you're not supposed to have any sexual.
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with the fact that they were raping and pillaging the boys and men of that, and they were like, don't do that. Like, you have to stop raping people. You have to stop doing that. Like, you cannot keep raping these men and these young boys, because a lot of theologians think that that verse was actually supposed to be translated as young boys and not man. But again, some fuck ass preachers wanted to touch little boys, and so they were like, no, it's man, we can touch boys. Like,
gosh, that is
like, that's the thing. I was like, everything gets so misconstrued, but the message remains like the same. Like, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Love your neighbor as yourself. Well, no. Love your neighbor as yourself. Well, what about no? Love your neighbor as yourself. That is the message of the Bible. Like, and it's so crazy to me that people will like just pick and choose like this and this and this and this to like
think the orgy tent is immoral.
I think orgies. Opinion. Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Well,
I don't think any of that is
I'm not saying your opinion's wrong.
I don't think that any of that is thought out and not in a lustful
that
manner.
Seems very lustful.
That's why I'm like, I don't think sex before marriage is a sin, but I do think that like
right now we're
getting
talking
drunk
about
and hooking up,
complete strangers. Like, we're not talking about like you said, you met somebody and connected with them. Like,
that's
you are
different.
Specifically going into a tent with
to
a group
hook
of
up with a
stranger,
stranger,
with the intent to do that with multiple people.
Correct. And
so
I
think it is immoral.
100%. I do think that's immoral. I'm just like, that's why I'm just like, I just really want to get into the nitty gritty of it so that people aren't just like, oh, well, you just think all sex is bad. I'm like, no, I don't. I actually think sex is great. And I think sex is fun. And, you know, who doesn't love to come?
Right.
I can't name one person who doesn't. It's great.
Well, you know? And here we go. Right. I have to be the objective side, because they're going to say, well, yeah, that's the whole part of the sin of it, is like, it's self pleasure. It's self gratifying pleasure with instant gratification. And some people might look at that as you're not having self control because it's something that brings you pleasure. And I'm like, okay,
you're allowed to experience pleasure.
Right.
You're allowed to masturbate. The Bible doesn't say not to masturbate.
And that's the other thing, is they say that's a sin.
It's not. Like that.
And
it's
by
absolutely not. Like,
somebody says it's a sin.
It's better to masturbate than to go sleep with strangers.
Right.
Sorry. Like,
right.
You shouldn't be like watching porn.
Right. Right. That you could look at it deeper.
Yeah. And honestly, if we want to get into the weird part of it, like, I think that it can bring you closer to God. Like, I think that cause in like a like, I'm not going to share my body with another person, but God did create me and my body, and I have things that are pleasurable on my body. And why would God not want me to experience myself? You know what I mean? I think that that's like, it's weird to like preach that masturbation is a sin, but like I also understand that it can get addicting and it can get like all of these things, and like if you're using it as like a,
well, that's the thing, is like it turns into like almost lustful,
right,
in an odd way, not lustful for yourself, but lustful for seeking pleasure seeking, which can be considered a sin if that's all you're now.
Well, anything that you put above God,
anything that you anything that you abuse and extreme and become addicted to, now it's starting, the enemy is taking over, right? Like now it's become a thing where it's affecting your life, it's affecting your marriage, it's affecting your way of functioning, like it's affecting your brain, like it's becoming a main focus or priority for you. It's like, so some people say, well, if you abstain from certain things, then you're not even subjecting yourself to that.
And I mean, and if you have that problem, then you should abstain. Just like God said, if something is causing you to sin, then turn away from it. Right. Like if you're like, it's the same thing. Like if a woman walks by and you're like, oh my God, like she's so hot, I need to go masturbate. You actually need to gouge out your eyes, is what Jesus said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
now you're taking it to a different level.
Like I'm speaking like specifically self only.
Yeah.
God can be there, I guess, if you're into that. But like, that's not like, like.
So one thing we can touch on is the fact that, so it said thousands of attendees began to arrive. And obviously they were met with a massive storm.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like bullet point real quick, it says they were trapped at some point.
Yeah. It was bad.
It said in 2023 that something similar did happen with rain and mud and people got trapped. But following the dust storm, an unexpected guest arrived, and it said a woman spontaneously delivered a baby, which in an RV that she had with her husband. And it's a crazy story because she didn't know she was pregnant. She thought she was having appendicitis.
That's crazy.
And literally, like, the baby came. I mean, obviously it happens when it's going to happen. And the baby got airlifted. They're okay. But it's the series of events that people are now looking at this in a different light, not necessarily bad or good.
Does give kind of prophetic,
but so that
kind of does. Like,
and it says the nurses said she didn't look pregnant, she didn't have symptoms. It was very strange. It was very crazy. But that happened.
Yeah.
It says as the festival was nearing an end, authorities said a man was found dead Saturday in a suspected homicide. The discovery was made as the man was being burned. Okay. So now,
do you know what that is? Like when they're burning it, do you know why they're doing that?
Why?
I'm not joking. And this is the part. This is how I know. Okay. So you know what collective effervescence is?
No.
Okay. So you've gone to a concert?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know how it feels in the crowd when everybody is singing the song?
Yeah.
And like you feel connected to everyone.
Right.
Okay. So the burning man,
is supposed to connect everyone?
Yes. But if you have experienced hardship, if you have experienced loss, if you've anything like that, you're supposed to bring it and like burn it away. Like, and so it's like an emotional release of all of the things that you've been through this year that you didn't think that you were going to be able to get through, and you got through them, and you put them in the man or whatever. Like you write,
that's demonic, right? You know that there's rituals that you can do that you write on a candle and or put things that affected you in your life and you burn it. And there is a satanic, I know this personally.
Girl, I've done this in church.
There's a satanic ritual.
I've done this in church multiple times.
Exactly. But what
you put it and you burn it.
What's the intention?
Like, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess anything can be a satanic ritual if you have intention. Like drinking water can be a satanic ritual. But they burn. Like
I said, it's not just that. So if that's all that was happening.
During the burn, it's silent.
Okay.
Some people are crying, some people are weeping.
Right. I'm sure it's
and that's the moment that they all feel like one. They all feel connected because they're all releasing all of their emotional things at the exact same time. And so that makes them feel like connected. And during that time, the podcast I listened to that was like Burning Man from a Christian perspective. Yeah. He said, because one of the guys was there, and he said that, but they're in 2024, not this year.
Oh, okay.
And he said that he approached one young woman, and she was crying, and he was like, oh, like, is everything okay? Well, whatever. Yeah. And he was like, well, what did you put, to burn away? And she goes, oh, I just found out that I have cancer and it's terminal. Oh, and geez. So he prayed for her, right? And so like, I don't know if she lived or not, like that. I don't think that's like the premise of it, but it's like there are people there that are literally so desperately seeking like just to be able to have some kind of release that is what makes it like also so susceptible to the demonic energy stuff, because like if someone is open to figuring out what's going on,
right,
they're
where
open
then
to
again
everything.
there's a subject to interpretation where it's like depending on your beliefs, but like a Christian would say you need to give it to God, not give it to burning this giant wooden thing with a bunch of people that want to have orgies. Again, not all the people. That can still
be giving it to God. Like
right.
That's
what I'm saying, intention.
Yeah.
But I do think that there was people there that wanted to be saved and were.
Yeah.
So it's not like the whole thing is negative. Yeah. I'm saying that if that's not the intention,
right,
which a lot of people say it's not supposed to be a religious thing. It's not supposed to be, spiritual.
No, it is spiritual. It is not religious.
Right.
So that is the thing. It is spiritual. Like so many people that go, so many, like even advertisements of it, like it's spiritual. Like, okay. But
so they don't deny that.
Anti-religion, but very like spiritual. Yeah.
Well, so the concern is that this man was found in a pool of blood while this was burning. Right. So again, this is me sharing information is that, people are like, was it a sacrifice?
I don't not believe that. That's the thing. Like I
doesn't mean all people there knew that.
No.
Or had any part to do with it. But
I don't
think it opening up these doors and gateways to have, like you said, everyone to have a safe place, including someone that's like, well, I'm going to sacrifice someone.
Right.
And I'm doing the right thing in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, are we opening the door to the people that just want, that somebody that has cancer and wants to burn that away and just feel like they have hope? But are we also opening the door to a human sacrifice? Well, where does the line get drawn?
It doesn't, but it also doesn't get drawn at a church either.
It doesn't get drawn. Right. But
yeah,
I mean,
it shouldn't get drawn at a church. Church is actually the one place where these horrendous people should be.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
But performing things like that, I really
you can't take over a church and just perform things on their stage.
Right. But these types of environments should still be a
safe place for them.
100%. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
A safe place. This is not a safe place. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Them calling this giant free-for-all fest.
Yeah.
With orgy tents and people that, like you said, there's no regulations in the middle of the desert. I think calling it a safe place is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Do I think that what they meant by safe place is everybody's welcome, you're not going to be judged? Okay, fine. Yeah. But safety is not.
I don't think the festival claims to be safe. I just think the Orgy Dome was claiming to be like a safe place for, because the festival is notoriously
well, that's why it says radical self
reliance.
Yeah. But at the same time, the radical inclusion also gives the impression that it's a safe space for people to feel included. So when you say the word safe, it's giving a misinterpretation, I think, in a false sense of security of like, well, this is a safe space for me.
Yeah.
But it's also a safe space for maniacs.
Yeah.
It's also a safe place.
It's not, I think safe should not be in it at all.
Right.
Like, I think that inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're getting included.
Yeah.
You're getting included.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing? Probably not. you're getting included.
Yeah.
I don't think safe is
proper.
No, I don't think it's proper. I don't think it's a proper thing at all, just because like what okay, and obviously these aren't like all sane
and
people.
murders can happen anywhere.
There are
it's
sane
not like
people.
this is the,
That's not what I'm saying. Like there are sane people. There are sane people that do go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's also insane people that go.
Yeah.
So any sane person that is going, if you are looking at this festival and you're looking at the lineup of events that are happening and you're doing all these things and you go, seems safe.
I agree.
You shouldn't be going. Like I think people go with the knowledge that it is not a safe environment. It's just they want to have hope that people are going to be good people. And I think that's where like the community of it all is, like, because there are people that are going to do good. Right. Like, like the people that were out like apostatizing to people and being like they're there to do good. Yeah. But like it's like just it's just like the same thing as like if we didn't have like it's regular society if we didn't have phones. Yeah. Like that's all it is. Like and
they said that it's making people question if this year specifically, which it was a little more chaotic than others.
This year had a lot of
more chaotic than in the past, which I think regardless of the intentions, regardless of inclusion, regardless of the good or bad in it, shows where we are in society, that there's more chaos, there's more extremists.
Well, because this year more than ever,
even with less people, there's more chaos. Like
but that's because it's not like it's because now it's just a place for rich people to do drugs. Right. Like it has become progressively more and more and more that. And like the whole principle of the thing is to leave nothing behind. I literally saw a video of a girl. Okay, so you can't wear sequins, you can't wear chunky glitter, you can't wear any of that because it will fall off of you and it'll be left on the ground, and any trash will need to be picked up. That includes a rhinestone. Wow. That's everything. And so they heavily encourage people not to wear these things. And I literally saw a girl, she was like, I know they say not to do like diamonds and glitter and gemstones and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. But like my outfit is just so cute. So I'm going to do it.
Right. But that she can because it's inclusive.
Well, she can. But if she does it again, like if people do this, then they are not allowed to have the festival anymore.
I think that it's probably on its way out, not far from now.
Yeah, no. Last year, they almost had the amount of trash that would shut it down. 11. Well,
there's a homicide.
11. Yeah, but that's not the first time that people have been killed.
Well, they said that the other things were accidents. There was one, somebody got hit by, like you said, cars. There was one that was heat exhaustion. Homicide is a little different.
No, I think people have gotten killed there before. I'm pretty sure.
I can imagine. Yeah, but I couldn't find anything on it. Yeah. They were saying this is the first investigated homicide where like the other things were accidental.
Yeah, they just got killed. They didn't
get murdered. It could have been killed by something or someone, but it was accidental or like I said, somebody, I think probably some drug overdoses, things like that. But where it's like a blatant homicide. Yeah. They're like,
it's like the same thing to me. That's so, what I always think of, like,
and the organizers are not like, oh, well, they're like, have donated money to a fund to offer rewards. Like they're not taking it lightly. I'm not saying that they don't care. Right. But I think that because of the way society has gotten, not because of the way the festival's gotten, but because like you said, it's turning into like just how chaotic can we make this? Right. Where that wasn't what it was supposed to be.
No, but
or not everybody there wants that. Right. But eventually, like you said, 20,000 people went less. Yeah. More and more people are going to be like, well, we don't want to, like, this is not what we're looking for.
Well, except for that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is the rich people are going to buy up these tickets and just keep turning it into something. And if it doesn't happen here, it'll just happen somewhere else. Right. Burning Man is not the only festival of its kind. Right. Like there are hundreds of festivals every year.
Some may even say raves. Like raves were supposed to be just freedom of expression, listening to music, doing drugs, looking at lights and art.
Inclusion, plur. Do you know what that means? No. Peace, love, unity, respect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've seen the term and people wear bracelets and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it's not the only of its kind.
Yeah. No, I mean, burning man. Yeah. Yeah. Like, they burn things, but not a man. Like, and it's the same, like, idea of radical self-expression. Like, it's the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, they do one in the UK. That's literally exactly the same. But, like, these are happening everywhere. So this isn't even like a unique experience. Right. This is just the one that's happening right now.
Right.
And it's a lot more commercialized than some of the other ones, but like these people are going to them like regularly, like they're and a lot of them now are Silicon Valley, rich tech dudes that spend all day sitting and coding, and then they dedicate so much of their life to sitting behind a computer screen that they literally want to just go crazy for a week.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to go crazy for a week if you're just sitting there coding all day long for months at a time? That's crazy. And that's like unrealistic. And they're probably already on drugs, you know, because you have to, there's no way you can stay up and put in all those hours if you're not at least doing like Adderall.
Right.
So like,
well, I watched it was like Drug Wars or something where they basically interview like big time drug dealers. Yeah. Obviously they have masks on and they change their voices and everything. And they're like, our biggest clients are like CEOs, office workers, Fortune 500 owners and CEOs.
I've been around, I've experienced it.
They're like, it's not crazy. Street thugs that are like, we're talking, they're buying like hundreds of thousands of dollars of drugs. Oh, and he's like, they're like, we don't sell to like the guy on the corner.
Oh no, literally the one and only time I ever tried the powder. It was from a very successful CEO.
Right.
Owned a company, multi-million-dollar company. Right. Like it was never any of my broke friends. It was never any and all of my friends that were like the worst thing I would get offered is weed.
Right.
Like that's it. But it's like once you take it to that next caliber of things, and that's why, you know, that money is the root of all evil.
Yeah. But although we can't live without it at this, you know, we just can't. Yeah. That's a reality of it. Like because that's you just created.
I mean, you can, just not in America.
Right. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I mean, even in another country, like to have zero money at all. And just say, I'm done with money.
Yeah.
Is going to be hard. I mean, there are people that go off the grid. And
even that's what I meant. Like off-grid people.
Which I watched a couple things like those Alaska, like, which you still.
That's still extreme.
They still have to have some money. There's some that went completely off the grid. I'm talking catch your food.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. Like have generators for electricity. Like they are not buying. They make their clothes. Like everything. And there's sometimes they're like, we've had to go into like a town
because if you need medicine
you have to have something.
Like
so you don't have to have riches and they don't work normal jobs, but they do something to have something. But I'm sure it's possible. It'd be really hard, but I'm sure it is possible. So
I just think like, well, actually, one of my favorite Bible verses that I like to say to really piss off pastors that have a lot of money. It says in the Bible that it's easier for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven.
Interesting.
That's actually a verse that it says, and that's you can't take your riches with you.
Yeah, that they.
So why are you not bettering? Why are you not bettering your community? Why are you not bettering the people around you?
They don't buy you into
nothing.
Anything really. They don't even buy you into being a good person.
They'll get you a ticket.
I mean, it's like the same theory where we try to teach our kids, even like, you know, school's hard.
Yeah.
There's bullies. There's fitting in. There's lots of, I mean, that's not new either.
Yeah.
That's been always, there's cliques. There's, you know, you don't want to have no friends. And it's funny, you graduate high school, right? Did any of that matter?
No.
Do you go apply for a job and be like, I was popular?
No,
I was popular, or
I
even
was on
say
a
I had no
court,
friends,
by the way.
Or even say I had no friends. It doesn't matter. But your whole life revolved around that image or whatever it may be. Right. So it's like that doesn't matter.
None of it matters.
In 10 years after high school, doesn't matter.
No, literally,
does the experience matter? And like, sure, you want to have a good experience.
Yeah,
and I get that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for who you are as a person. You could had no friends in high school, and yeah, that's unfortunate, and that might affect you socially and like maybe later.
Right.
But it doesn't mean you get out of high school and you make friends and you become like that part of you doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So having a bunch of money doesn't make you any better or worse.
Yeah.
You know, sure, is it good to be successful and put hard work in?
I do think having too much money will make you worse.
Oh yeah, it's possible.
I think it's
I've
almost
seen it.
guaranteed.
I've seen it.
I just have seen it. The amount of times that I've seen it be good
is less. It exists.
Well, it's twice.
Less.
It's twice. And
I've
the
seen
amount
it
of
good.
times I've seen it be bad is like hundreds.
Well,
So-
I think, and that's your experience.
Yeah.
But I think that's true. I think that the amount, like I've seen, well, that's the thing. Also, is the rich people that do good. They don't talk about it.
But when you get obsessed with doing good.
Yes.
That's
that could be. But they don't talk about, like, that's the difference is, I remember the hospital I gave birth to Logan in. It's Newport Beach, the Hogue. The women's center was, I guess, built and not owned, but they put their money into it.
Right.
I forget her name. I think her name was Susan, but a woman I'm talking, we're not talking like millionaire. We're talking like trillionaire. We're talking like money.
Like billion.
Like maybe, yes, lots of money. She, I knew somebody that worked on her house. Well, her 5 mansions that were connected by literally walkways. But they were like, literally drives like a Buick and was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. Like, so had you seen her in the street, you'd be like she was not that person.
I knew one of those.
And she worked hard for it. Like it wasn't given to her.
Right.
And she of course she used her money. Like she worked hard for it, but she used most of her money to give and to help.
Right.
And so, but she didn't walk around and go, I did that.
Yeah.
Like there was one point, I think she did another women's hospital to help like underprivileged, and she was like, you don't even need to put my name on it.
Right.
Type thing.
Yeah.
Like she's like, it's not about that.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you need like a plaque, you need recognition. And she was like, no, I really don't though.
Right.
And it's like, I do think that's few and far in between.
Yeah.
100%.
It definitely is. Yeah.
But it exists, but I think it's few and far in between. And I don't think you hear about it because those people that do that don't do it for the recognition.
Right.
The people that do it for the recognition.
Right.
That's the people that you're like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. What the freak is on my lip? Anyways.
So I think that it exists, but I think that we're not going to hear about it a lot. And
I actually think that the only way it exists is if we don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
if we're hearing about it, I don't believe you.
If you were to probably make a statistic about it, and this is an opinion, I don't know the
statistic.
It's
probably less than 1%.
I think that the statistic of people that have a lot of money that turn not necessarily into good people is higher. I mean, there's people that there was like a show that said like life after the lottery and they're like, it ruined my life.
Oh, most people. Yeah.
Ruined my life. They're like, at first it didn't, but it ruined my life. I had relationship problems. Like people were using me for money. I didn't know what to do with all this money all of a sudden. And I became like this monster. They were like, it ruined. I think it was called,
I think life after lottery is correct.
It's like something.
I'm
and
pretty
that
sure
it wasn't like a good thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I'm like, that's crazy because everybody goes, I want to win the lottery so bad. That would solve all my problems. And they're like, you think that, don't you?
Yeah.
And they're like, it didn't.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting angle.
But only because
you're like 100%.
100% it would for me, but only because.
But what if it changes you, who you are? You think it's not going to, but you never know.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
You as a person, what if you were like.
I know that it would change me, but I don't think it would ruin my life because the people that I have in my life, like I not that I believe in like no new friends policy, but the people that I have in my life, if you started coming at me for money, like it is just so easy for me to cut somebody off. I'm like, no, I will donate this. I will do this. I will.
But
make
they
sure
also
the
had people
that
coming out of the woodworks that they were like, we never heard from. Like it's constant. They were like, our phones, we had to change our numbers. They're like, there's relatives we didn't even know we had.
I would change my numbers. I'd be like, I don't know you. Stop calling me.
Yeah.
I just straight up would do that. Like I don't feel any shame or any like. For like you haven't spoken to me in 30 years. You want because I won the lottery. You want me to You want me to give you something? Okay, go play the lottery. Hope you win.
Well, like I said, I think you said it wouldn't affect you're a stronger person.
Yeah, exactly.
I think some people, and for some reason, a lot of times people that win the lottery are like,
they just have zero money.
They have like a hard life, like
no, it's
which
like
is
crazy.
You would think would be good.
Like they just blow right
but
through
it goes from one extreme so hard to the other that they're like it's like culture shock and they don't know what to do with it even mentally, and it's like not good.
If my sister won the lottery, she would spend it all. Like I'm 100% certain of that.
Yeah.
Like that girl has never saved a dime in her life.
Right. And that's why they say hire an attorney, hire a financial advisor, hire like an accountant, hire everything. Do not do this on your own. You cannot do this on your own. Like, but
absolutely. But
so money, I mean, they say money is the root of all evil.
I do think it is. And I know that money would change me. So that's why you better be my friend now.
Right.
Because I'm going to change.
You're all,
money is going to change me. I just wanted that to be on the record.
Right.
So if someone's like, oh my God.
Well, that's why they say there's the different levels of rich and that the really super rich are at times, again, not always, but at times a little bit more humble than that middle rich ground. The middle rich ground are like not rich enough. They want
you to know, and
they will make sure everyone knows. They show it off,
like,
and they're rich enough, but not old time rich. And they are the Real Housewives of Orange County rich, where they're like, yeah, you got money, you got a nice house, you got nice cars, you have enough, you get what you want, but you're not like swimming in it. Those people want the whole world to know.
That group of people specifically, I always feel so sad for them because it's like, guys, how do you not know that like the devil got you, bro?
Well, and how many problems do they have? They all have horrible relationships.
Left you so comfortable with your money,
friendship
so
drama, constant drama.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Constant relationship drama. Even with their own kids, there's drama constantly, and I'm like, and that's why people love watching it. It's constant drama.
Yeah. And I mean, life is constant drama, but
it sure is.
That is extreme.
Yeah.
That's so extreme. But I think we're I think that was a good one.
That's a good one.
I tried
we
really
say that
hard
every time with ourselves.
No, we're like, that was good. That was so good. I tried really hard this time to like have like counter arguments.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we're here for.
I know. That's why I was like, I feel like,
but we don't necessarily disagree.
And
but
a lot of stuff, I was like, we're just like, yeah. And I'm like, wait, let me have some counter arguments.
Right. And it's not even like we're trying to purposely. No. It's like actually what we, and sometimes it's not even like, sometimes when we do that and I say, I'll be objective. Yeah. I even express like, this is not necessarily I don't think this is right or wrong, but I'm just bringing another perspective on things I've heard, and because it's good to open things up to that or discuss it. So
I feel like we talked about some really important
things. All right, today. Well, sorry we missed you last week.
It's literally midnight.
Yeah, we gotta go. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.